بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
الحمد لله بسم الله
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. The youth. After the onset of puberty, the first stage of youth begins, a stage where energy is abundant and strength is continuously increasing, which means that it is the stage most suited for winning rewards, doing good works, and avoiding sins and reprehensible acts.
Subhanallah.
However, it is also a hazardous stage of which one should be wary, for many or even most young people are inclined toward worldly desires and prefer immediate pleasures to decent actions and observances. It is unusual to find a youth established in obedience, longing for good works, and neglectful of worldly desires and ephemeral pleasures. Your Lord wonders at a young man who shows no passion, according to a hadith. And the Messenger of God...
Your Lord is pleased, not wonders. The Lord doesn't wonder. يعجب ربك. He's pleased. He's pleased.
Yeah.
Your Lord is deeply pleased with, okay?
Your Lord is deeply pleased at a young man
With a young man.
who shows no passions. And the Messenger
Who
of God...
shows no bad passions. Because passion could be positive in English, right? I have passion for prayer. I have passion for dhikr.
Yes.
Okay. Sabwa. Here it is the sabwa. In the ajiba rabbuka li shabin laysa lahu sabwa. Sabwa is the lust. Is the passion for
passions.
lower passions. Bismillah.
And the Messenger of God, may blessings and peace be upon him, included among the seven that God will shade with his shade on the day when no shade shall exist save his, a young man who grew up in the service of God. It has been related that God the Exalted said, "O young man, who has abandoned his passions for his lower passions for my sake, you are to me as are some of my angels."
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Continue. Subhanallah.
Hence, young people should be very careful to protect themselves against being dragged into God's wrath and painful chastisement simply by their youthfulness. Let them instead make it into a means and ladder leading up to the good pleasure of God and His tremendous reward.
Allahu Akbar.
Let them remember the advice of God's Messenger, upon whom be peace and blessings, for he has more compassion and solicitude for us than ourselves, our fathers and our mothers. He said, "Seize the opportunity to make use of 5 things before 5 other things catch up with you. Your youth before you grow old, your health before you fall sick, your leisure before you are occupied, your wealth before you grow poor, and your life before your death." And he said, upon him be peace and blessings, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, "The feet of a servant will not move away from where he stands on the day of rising until he is asked about 5 things: his life and how he expended it, his youth and in what he exhausted it, his wealth and where he obtained it, and on what he spent it." Youth is the time when acquiring merit, knowledge, and attaining to positions of religious leadership and eminence are possible. One poet said, "If a youth has nothing to boast of when he reaches 20 years, he'll never have anything to boast of."
Yep.
No.
Boast of. I mean, to be proud of.
Be proud of. Be proud of. Another declared, "If you do not prevail..."
To feel fulfilled with. If a youth doesn't realize it, he hasn't achieved something that could make him feel happy with and satisfied and pleased and fulfilled at the age of 20. He will never have he will never be proud of himself. Subhanallah. Yeah.
Another declared, "If you do not prevail in the nights of youth, then you shall never prevail though you live long. Is most of your life other than youth? Take what you can from it and neglect it not. Those of our righteous predecessors who lived long in the way of God and in His obedience used to urge young people to seize the chance offered by their youth, saying, "Use your youth before you became like us, old, feeble, and too weak to perform many acts of goodness." They said this even though despite their circumstances they were outstripping youngsters in striving for God and in zeal and determination in His obedience.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا وحبيبنا وشفيعنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه الطيبين الطاهرين. Praise be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one who brought us together and the one who has sent us a messenger to teach us and to show us our mission and to show us the way how to go about it. And praise be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one who has made the path clear for those who want to walk and for those who want to take this journey. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be pleased and keep nourishing the soul and the light, the guidance and the legacy of our messenger, of his messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, his messenger to us, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, as well as the rest of his messengers, the guided people, those who are guiding the humanity in the path of happiness and success. And may God increase our connection to them. Ameen ya arhamar rahimin ya rabbil alameen. Imam al-Haddad in this chapter is talking about the most important stage in this second life. We are talking about the second life. Now we're talking the time between Dhuhr and Asr. The first life, we said it was between Fajr and Dhuhr. That was the first life. And we were souls and nobodies. And now, in these bodies, we have the second life, and spoke about it. He said it's the most important one. We need to give it importance, and it is the only life in which we have this parameter, or this equipment, or this skill, or this potential, or this power, or this weakness called the choice. Out of 5 lives, the only life that we have actually a choice in is this one, is the second life. The life that everyone knows. The life that starts with birth and ends by death. Youth, he spoke about childhood, and that's the responsibility of the parents. Now youth, after the puberty, after the onset of puberty, the first stage of youth begins. SubhanAllah. Talking now the age of 14, 15, 16, 17. And Imam al-Haddad is telling us that this age is very, 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 very important. And not only Imam al-Haddad says that. Even marketing companies, they will tell you the same thing. Mac, they know it very well. Android, they know it very well. Samsung, they know this reality very well. Gap, they know that very well. Zara know that very well. I'm talking about these companies, there are more now. I stopped there. My knowledge is stopped there. Clothing companies, Gap. Don't know it? Ajib. I'm talking about Adidas, they know this very well. Nike, they know this very well. Do you still have Reebok? Reebok. They know this very well in Europe, not in here. In here as well, they do have it. Ajib. They know it very well. And if you see who's the, subhanAllah, tell you, yes, youth are those who have the least means, but they come number one in consumption. If you have a project, you have to. So not only the people of God know this very well, but the people of Satan know this very well. Because it is a very, 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 very important moment, subhanAllah. Today, we have the opposite paradigm. Oh, he's still young. She's still young. And we make sure that youth is nothing but an extension of childhood. And not any childhood, of that cranky childhood, of that, not the innocent, not the first time, not the first part of childhood, which is innocent and beautiful, really. But like the mediocre part of childhood, the last part of childhood is not enjoyable. It's not good at all. You see that, and people, they live their youth as an extension of that. Lack of responsibility, lack of responsiveness, lack of engagement. Just, throwing tantrums every minute. Fake relationships, etc., etc., etc. He's telling you here, be careful, don't waste that time. Imam al-Haddad, he has written his book, Risalat al-Mu'awana, at the age of 17. Shaykh Abu Bakr bin Salim has written his book, Miftah al-Sarair wa Kanz al-Dakhar, at the age of 15. And there are deep treatises on tasawwuf, not any knowledge. I mean, memorizing Quran at the age of 15 is not strange. Even if you memorize at the age of 7, there is nothing really special about it. Seriously. Just memorizing the Quran, there is nothing special about just memorizing the Quran. Or even memorizing the hadith, or just memorizing the whole multiplication table or whatever. It's the same. There is nothing really special about that. Some people, they have more energy than other people, and if you really focus on that capacity of memorization, they will actually memorize. But what is actually special is to find someone get the fiqh, get the knowledge, and get the deep understanding. Not only of the fiqh, not only of the legal questions, because having an understanding of the legal questions is brilliant, but what would be more brilliant is having an understanding of of life, of the spiritual journey, knowing the goal, knowing the mission, having the kitab and the hikmah, subhanallah. Knowing the mission and the way to go about it. And even better than that, knowing how to talk about it, and knowing how to teach it to others. and knowing how to transmit it to others, to transmit that secret to others. At an early age, yes, it is in our potential to reach there at an early age. It is in our potential had we wanted to. Had we been prepared for it. Had someone told us that this time of your life is very, 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 very crucial and very, very, very important, or is of big importance. Don't waste it. Our youth evaporates on us today, and we are setting up youth to just waste their youth. Youth today are set up for failure, are set up just to waste their youth. When we say youth today, it's the equivalent of what? Craziness, no. And then they will wake up. Let them drink, let them become drunk with their youth now, and then they will wake up. They wake up with depression or panic attack. Sow your wild oats. Sow your wild oats. Just go wherever you want. This is in Alberta. Shanaz is from Vancouver, did not hear about it, so it must be in Alberta, in Edmonton. This is special for people of Edmonton. In Vancouver, they just go wild. They smoke their wild grass. That's what they do in Vancouver. They smoke their wild weed. Subhanallah, what a waste of potential when you think about it seriously, what a waste of potential. And all of us, when we look back, La ilaha illallah. Subhanallah. So after the onset of puberty, the first stage of youth begins, a stage where energy is abundant. People who know what to see. Energy is abundant. Strength is continually increasing, which means that it is the stage most suited for winning rewards. Or, in other terms, the age most suited for preparing or advancing in the journey. It is the age most suited for really advancing in the journey.
Making strides.
Making
strides
in the journey. Doing good works and avoiding sins, not doing them. And reprehensible acts, because you lose appetite for these things anyways at the age of 35 or 40 or 50, so there won't be anything special about it. But subhanallah, if you fight your sins at the age of 13, 14, if you fight that inclination at that age, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, then it is more rewarding. And also, it's easier. It is easier. It is easier to fight bad inclination at that age. It only takes to not fall in them. Because fighting sinful inclination when you are older becomes, if they are still there, it's way more difficult. A young man can get rid of he has the energy because he has the will.
The will is stronger.
He has the will, he has the strength, he has the hope, and he sees life in front of him. young man at the age of 13, 14, he could like not decide to not fall into pornography or even quit it much easier than someone who is 35 now or 36 and who is still shamelessly. Yani, God protect us and you. Let alone if he's 40 or 50 at some point, khalas, it grows on you. May Allah protect us. However, he's telling you it is a hazardous stage of which one should be wary. For many or even most young people are inclined toward worldly desires and prefer immediate pleasures to decent actions and observances. You remember when I gave you the explanation of Salat al-Tasabih last night? Where?
Oh, it's outside.
Huh? But where is he? He's out. He promised to be here, you see? Alhamdulillah. That's youth. So, one of the wisdoms of praying Salat al-Tasabih with long ruku' and long sujood and really tiring yourself, wearing yourself. Immediately after the iftar is actually for them to act as breakers and also to channel, to help you channel,
To subdue.
to help you channeling that energy that you just got. Because you're fasting, and you got that sweetness, you got that energy, and dates are very complete as food, but they are also very dangerous. Cannot just people today, they think they can eat dates. No, you can't. 3 and stop there. And believe me, otherwise you will have lots of energy and you will be looking where to put it. Fresh dates you can go until 7. It's not good for the stomach though. Fresh dates, rutab, because there is lots of water in them. Between 3 and 7, do not exceed, you know your body. Now dates with milk. You know the boost of energy that could give. So that's exactly adolescence. That's exactly adolescence. He was fasting, he was a child, he did not have anything, and he gets that energy in his body. It's a quick change, it's not progressive. It's like breaking fast. Stepping into youth is exactly like breaking fast. It's exactly like breaking fast. He's not the same person. Not at all. And you don't grow progressively towards that. Something, you discover some heat, some energy, something in your body that was never there before, and then it has to be really channeled. Otherwise it will go, by default it will go into anger and passion. By default. Now, working in counseling, most of the divorce, this talaq things, they happen at the hour of iftar. It's nothing, it's not strange. Absolutely. They get that boost of energy, and instead of putting it into prayers, by default it will go into what? Into where? Anger or passion. He will get angry at his wife because the soup is not hot enough or very hot, and he will throw the soup on her, and she will throw the knife on him, and khalas, it's done. Over. I received, at least between yesterday and today, 4 phone calls of talaq things happened on the table of iftar. Immediately after the iftar. And the interpretation of these people, Satan's the shayateen were chained, and then all of a sudden they just overwhelmed us. It's in your body. You get that boost of dates and milk, boost of energy. You got to put it somewhere. You got to really direct it somewhere. Otherwise it will evaporate on you and it will consume you. It's very easy to make fasting one of the most unhealthy practices. It's very easy to make Ramadan one of the most unhealthy practices. You fast, and then you break your fast. You make sure to break it. You destroy your fast. La hawla la quwwata illa billah. Same thing with youth. When you step in that age, in that stage of life, you get that boost of energy. It's a different energy than the energy of the childhood. And it has to be channeled. It has to be channeled. Otherwise, by default, a human's energy goes in the two natural weaknesses or strengths. The weaknesses, the passion, the shahwa, the desire, or the anger, discontentment. Haven't you seen youth discontented with everything? With everything, angry with everything, with the government, with the father, with the authority, with the mother, with his girlfriend, with her boyfriend, with the teacher, with himself, with herself, with her nose, because it is slightly bigger than than Barbie, than the norm. If you don't channel that power, because that's what happens. Two things, they just burst, two springs. One cold spring and one hot spring. Both of them, they burst all of a sudden in the heart of a young man, in the body of a young man. The desire and the anger. Now we have to channel. That's the best time to channel the anger in order to take a right cause. Channel that anger in order to resist. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to fall into that. I'm not going to follow this norm, the satanic norm. No, I'm not going to be a normal youth. You don't want to be normal youth? Don't act normal. If you put tattoos, you are normal. If you put piercing, you are very normal. If you go and have a boyfriend and a girlfriend, it's very normal. That's the norm. If you succumb to peer pressure, that's very normal. But if you resist that, that's ajib. That will be ajib. That will be abnormal. That will be extraordinary. You want to be extraordinary? You want to be special? Resist. Resist the norm. The norm is not the education that your father or your mother is giving you. No. The norm is the peer pressure. The norm is what the majority of youth are going through. And the norm is what, by default, you will be inclined to. And it's easy. If you try to stop it at the time, it's very, very, very easy. It's very, very easy. He says, it is unusual to find a youth firm, firmly rooted. It's unusual to find the youth anchored or firmly rooted in obedience, longing for good works, and neglectful of worldly desires and ephemeral pleasures. You want to be unusual? That's what is unusual. You want to be extraordinary? That's extraordinary. You want to challenge? That will be challenging. You want to impress? That will be really impressive. Really. That would be really impressive. And this is how we could talk to youth in this way, and then yes. I know some parents actually, they insist to act as like resisting the religious inclination if their children they wants to become religious. They are very happy, but they act as they are not happy. To put more fuel into that, because children, youth, they want really to be. It's their power. You have to empower that resistance within them, but you have to just direct it and channel it, and show them what to resist. When you go to high school, subhanallah, what a low school. Ajib. It's so painful. So painful. Disaster. It's really disaster. Big, huge disaster. What? Ajib. Meaninglessness everywhere. Waste. Waste. And you see these gems, these beautiful beings. 17, 16, 18. Wow, beautiful beings, full of energy, full of life. Just wasting time, killing the time, killing the life, killing the energy, wasting the energy.
Chilling.
Huh?
Chilling.
Killing. Huh? No Iraqi and Kuwaiti. Tell them, say killing. They will tell you chilling. Do we have an Iraqi? Where is the Iraqi people today? Where are they? They're not here. Huh? You know that. Even in some places in Yemen, they don't say ka, they say cha. So, killing will be chilling. And absolutely, for many people, killing is chilling. And chilling is killing. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. Killing potential. Killing days one after the other. Consuming and allowing the time to consume us. Consuming each other and allowing the other to consume us. Subhanallah. That same human being, 7 years ago when he was a child, into that innocent part of childhood, he was brilliant. He was very good. And you could have a conversation with him. You could actually have a very beautiful and constructive conversation with him. Why not now? Because now he's wasting lots of energy in resisting maturity. So they are resisting what they should not be resisting. They know somehow, but there is lots of energy consumed to resist. Do you know that it takes more energy to kill a flower than to blossom? It takes more energy to hold resentful, or to hold a grudge,
Hold a grudge.
to hold a grudge than forgiving. Forgiving does not take anything from you, just forgive. It takes more energy from you to hold than giving. Giving is much easier for the soul, for the human nature, for the... It takes more work to go to hell than going to paradise. Assalamu alaikum. Alhamdulillah. Give a chair to my father-in-law. تفضلوا. Give him a chair. It takes more energy and more work to go to hell than what it takes to go to paradise. You have to work hard to go to hell. You have really to work. You have to work really hard. You have to insist. To go to paradise, you have just to submit to the will of God. You have to just take it easy. And then just embrace. But to go to hell, you have to keep acting on resisting. You have to keep covering the truth. Every time it manifests, every time... It takes more energy to resist life than to embrace life. It does take more energy and more work. And often, that energy that comes in youth, at the age of puberty, etc., often it is channeled in the wrong way in order to resist what? To resist maturity, to resist responsibility, to resist engagement, to resist. They know, they understand you, but they act that they are not understanding you. No, I don't want to understand you. It's too early for me. Insisting. So the whole energy goes into resisting. It happens even to us today. You know the energy that takes to justify your failure? Or to justify your not doing the work? Seriously. It's much bigger than the energy that would take to just do the task. Just comment the task. Say, سمعنا وأطعنا, subhanallah. It's not complicated. Say, we hear and we obey and just go ahead and do it. It will be easy. You will get the tawfiq. And the earlier you do it, I mean, take it or leave it. The earlier you answer the call, the easier it will be. The easier it will be to answer. We have told you this many times. The simplest task, the most simple. If you keep delaying it, at some point it will become so difficult in your mind. Only in your mind. It doesn't actually become difficult, but in your mind it becomes so difficult. Go and do it right away. يا أيها الذين آمنوا استجيبوا لله والرسول إذا دعاكم لما يحييكم واعلموا أن الله يحول بين المرء وقلبه. Know that the time is not in your favor. Keep postponing, and then putting the energy that we get into what? In justifying why this is too much for me, why this is overwhelming for me, why I cannot do this, preparing the explanations and justifications. It takes more time and more energy and more money to justify a sick day than to actually just go to work. Isn't that right? Justify a sick day, and it takes energy, it burdens, and you end up sick. You want to pretend that you are sick and to not go to work that day? And then you send a letter to your employer, just lying to your employer, even if it is a white lie. I'm sick today. It takes all your energy. Saying the truth. It would have taken much less energy to jump out of the bed and just man up and just, you know what? I'm going to work. Why am I sleeping? What am I going to do with with sleepiness and drowsiness. Huh? So often the energy of youth, it goes into resisting. You know, for example, now you are in a class, and listen to me well, everyone who is here. Now you are in class, just deciding to listen to the class and syncing and synchronizing your energy and give me your hearing, give me your listening, and give me your eyes and give me your attention will take much to the day of judgment. Less effort than ignoring me and texting. You will end up tired and overwhelmed after this. Believe me. If you are in an activity, give it to yourself. Give yourself to that. And then you will see. It will be, and it will be opening, it will be giving you, it will be. If you're not going to be there, don't be there. You know what hurts us the most? When we are in a place and we keep resisting to it. Ignoring the truth and ignoring the present and not being in the present moment takes more energy than actually embracing it. Meditate on this and think about it. Think about it. Tiredness that comes from resisting to waking up. And ask someone who has experience with this. More is up. Sometimes you sleep like for 8, 9 hours, 10 hours, 7 hours. In Ramadan, I mean, if you sleep 4 hours, it should be more than enough because you are fasting. That's what fasting do to the body. It makes it gives some ala kulli hal. And then you wake up tired. You know why you are so tired? You remember when you woke up 2 hours earlier or 3 hours earlier? All the slumber just went away and you woke up and you had energy. And you look at the time, oh, it's too early. And you decided to go back to bed? To resist awakening? Or to resist waking up? Resisting waking up and resisting awakeness? Wakefulness. And resisting life in general takes more energy, way more energy. Much more energy than embracing it. Resisting the truth takes more energy, consumes more energy than embracing the truth, etc., etc., etc. So for youth, it doesn't take much. How had they been prepared for or willing to? But we have also to prepare the frame for them because they are set up for failure. Everything is setting them up for failure, poor guys, seriously. Everything around us is setting them up for waste, just to go to waste. Wasting time, wasting potential, wasting beauty, wasting energy, wasting souls. Just insisting in living in nonsense in the life that makes sense the most. In the stage of our life that makes sense the most. If you don't write poetry in that age, when are you going to write it? If you don't get to connect to the deepest level of your soul at that age, when are you going to do it? If you don't produce in that age, when are you going to ever produce? If you do not get genuine, if you don't really Become genuine. Become yourself. Find yourself. In that age, when are you going ever to find yourself? That's why he's telling you, your Lord is deeply pleased with the young man who shows no inclination to his low passions. عجب ربك لشاب ليس له صبوة. And we read this hadith like this. And if God is pleased with that young man, if he does not answer that inclination once, what happens after that? Huh? The pleasure of God. It will facilitate the rest of it. Subhanallah. Yes, great. Bismillah. Go ahead. And the Messenger of God, may blessings and peace be upon him, may God, the Messenger of Allah, may Allah continue to nourish his soul, his light and his legacy, and empower his legacy and our connection to it. He says, he included among the 7 that God will shade with his shade on the day where no shade shall exist save his. And this is the shade from what? Huh? The shade from the illusion of seeing God angry. Because to see God angry is an illusion. To be able to see the beauty of God in the day where, in the most difficult moment. And that's the shade, that's the dhull. So they don't panic. And they get to still see the beauty and the generosity of God in that day, in that very difficult moment. That's the symbolic meaning of the shade of the arsh of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And people today, they need shade. Inna ma'al usri yusra, Surah Al-Sharah is to give you shade. Within every difficulty there is ease, there is a breeze, there is shade. But you need tawfiq from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to get that shade. You need to open your eyes, and you need to have a true and a genuine and a real relationship with God in order for you to keep seeing Himself, and keep trusting that connection that you have with Him, even when everything seems chaotic around you. You understand? Even in this life. A plane is crashing. And some people will be pulling their beards, some people will be pulling their hijabs, some people will be pulling their niqabs, some people will be pulling their skirts, some people, and screaming and joining into that melting pot of not trusting God, except for few categories of people. We have placed our trust in God. If He wants to save us, He's still capable to do so. We pray for it. If this is the end, may it be a good one. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. But to get that tawfiq, to get that strength, to say something like that, you need to be one of the 7. So the day of judgment, things will look chaotic. But is it the end? No. You're still going to meet with your Lord, and you can tell Him to forgive you, and it takes really to have a genuine and true relationship with God in order for you to be able actually to trust God in that moment and to not have a panic attack. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran, He said, لا يحزنهم الفزع الأكبر. Ajib, subhanallah. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is describing the good people, He said, لا يحزنهم الفزع الأكبر وتتلقاهم الملائكة ألا خوف عليكم. لا يحزنهم الفزع الأكبر. How do we translate لا يحزنهم الفزع الأكبر? الفزع الأكبر is the biggest chaos. The biggest chaos that does not cause them to panic. This is description of believers. Say believers, not believers. المؤمنون, those who have trust in God. The biggest chaos, which is the day of judgment, things are شمس كورت نجوم انكدرت. All of this is creation. Even this day is creation. He's telling you, we are assuring ourselves every Fatiha, Malik Yawm al-Din, Malik Yawm al-Din. Is Yawm al-Din is our God? Is the day of judgment is our God? No. This day of judgment is in the hands of God still. Now to keep that trust in God, even after seeing that very chaotic moment and seeing the sirat and seeing all of that, you need to have a true connection with God in order for you to be able to not panic when you see God in that way. Same with a friend, same with a teacher today. If you don't take the easy moments, take advantage of the easy moments and the smiles and the one-on-one sessions and eating together and laughing together and joking together and talking about things together, in order for you to build within your heart a deep place for that teacher or for that mentor or for that friend. The day he will act in a different way, or he will show you another face, engaging or responsibilizing, or what have you done all this time? The hisab moment, judgment moment, come. What is the work? What have you done all this time? If we did not allow the smile to go to a safe space and safe place in your heart, and you did not allow the beautiful moments to, and you were not nourishing that relationship through actually responsiveness and doing what you could do, you'll be shocked. It will cause you panic attack. Oh my God, I have to leave now. I got a panic attack. I cannot step into the Rhoda anymore. I got yelled at. He showed me his Gargamel face. What? Oh, there is Gamal and Gargamel. No? What's his name? Gargamel. I mean, yeah, Shroomfs, yeah. Who doesn't know Gargamel? I will show it to you. Bismillah. That's me when I'm telling you, Terry! When I'm terrifying you. Okay. Yeah, if you don't invest the moments of praising you and speaking good of you and making and standing up for you out of all of them, to give you your prize after the Lord's Blossom retreat, and if you don't really invest these moments to make the love really well rooted within you and keep acting on that and keep acting positively, when the day of judgment will come, it will just Exit. From here or from here. Allah protect us. And that's what will be the reaction of the majority of people in front of God. Even those who, some of them will be forgiven after that and go to garden of paradise by the grace of God. But the majority of people will try to escape God. They will find no escape. Ard al-Mahshar. People will try to escape in all directions. Could we escape this moment? No. Read. There is a verse in the Quran. Huh? They will try to give everything. No escape. But only 7 categories of people will find enough love and enough trust within their hearts to keep trusting God in that moment, in that chaotic moment, and know that God is still God. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim is still Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. He's still the same. Alhamdulillah. إذا الكريم تجلى باسم منتقم. But he is Kareem, he's still Kareem. But تجلى باسم منتقم. He just took the name of Muntaqim that day. Just put the hat of Muntaqim that day. But his essence is still, he's still the Kareem. But who's going to see the Kareem under the hat or the mask or of the Avenger? Huh?
Avenger?
Yeah.
The Avenger.
Yeah? Or the
Vengeful.
the one who exacts retributions. Who's going to still see the generosity? 7 categories Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says through the tongue of His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because the teachings of Rasulullah are teachings of Allah. So He says, alayhi salatu wasalam, 7. Who knows them? Who can count them? Ya Allah, at least give me one. Yes. Huh? No? No? It's not memorizing something. So, the 7 people.
People who learn Quran and teach it to someone.
Ah. Okay. One of them is though people whose hearts are attached to the masajid, to the places and the moments and the situations and the states and people of sujood. That's masjid. People whose hearts are attached to the mosques, the places for sujood, and their own prayer mats, or their own place of sujood in their home. And the action of sujood itself is called masjid. And the situation of sujood and the context of sujood. And the people of sujood. Who else? This is one. Yeah. Two brothers, 2 people who loved each other for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, only for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and who kept that love all the way until they got separated from each other by death. That's the meaning of افترق عليه. With no divorce, a Catholic love, like Catholic marriage. With no divorce. They loved each other for the sake of Allah. That means they opened up to that opportunity, and they welcomed that gift, because the love for the sake of Allah comes from whom? It comes from Allah. So those who were actually permeable enough to receive that gift, which is love for the sake of Allah to each other, and then kept it, kept it alive, and kept it intact, and kept it safe. 3rd, The one who gives sadaqah with his right hand and his left hand does not know anything about it. This is a figure of speech to say the one who sadaqah became a first nature, I won't say a second nature, became his own nature. It became natural, I would say natural, not automatic. Natural. It became his own essence. He became mutasaddaq. وَيُؤْتُونَ الزَّكَاةَ وَهُمْ رَاكِعُونَ. Also, who does not hesitate, who does not regret something good that he has done. These are three. I still need three more. Yes. That's the one here. I need three other than this one. You can Google it if you are.
Something about the one that makes adhan for some period.
Indeed. But not in this particular hadith. But in this particular hadith, talking about the 7 people. نعم. A just ruler. A just ruler. Minister, mayor, judge, or a father or a mother, just ruler. Someone who has authority and doesn't abuse of it and actually, right? A person who remembers God alone by himself when he is alone. خاليا فدمعت عيناه. رجل ذكر الله خاليا فدمعت عيناه. A person who would remember God when no one is with him. This means, and then he would have tears coming. Alone, not in Taraweeh or in public tahajjud. Alone. Though some people, they could reach that state of being alone when there are thousands of people around. But khaliyan means in khalwa. Again, it has another meaning also, deeper meaning. A man who remembers God not out of need, out of love. خاليا من الحاجات. He remembers God not because he needs God to do something for him, not out of need. فدمعت عيناه, because even kuffar, they remember God out of need and they will cry. Oh my God, please, my son. I only have 5 children. Oh my God, please. I don't want my husband to divorce me. Bring him back to me. I want to be the one who will divorce him. Or the opposite. People, they cry all the way to God. People, they cry. Everyone cries to God, but not khaliyan. Not free of expectation. ذكر الله خاليا, that means he remembers God free of expectation. I'm not expecting anything, not even anything. I just want you. الله أكبر. فدمعت عيناه, out of love. رجل ذكر الله خاليا فدمعت عيناه. So again, what are they? We have 5 categories so far. I need one more before giving you this. Yes, Bismillah. No, that's the 7th one. He gave it to us here. Give me the 6th one. Yes. A young man, and he finds himself in a context, in a moment when a woman, a beautiful woman and capable woman, invites him to herself illegally, and he resists the temptation. And number 7, a man who grows up in the service of God. These are the 7 categories. The other categories that we have mentioned, about the mu'adhin, and about the, what was the other one? And about the, and learning Quran and to teach it. And there is another, there was a, not in this hadith, they were in another hadith, but the 7 categories here. In this hadith are these 7. What is the common denominator between these 7 categories? If I tell you someone would remember God alone and would cry, or would remember alone free, would remember God free of need, free of expectation, free of need, not feeling any need, not for a need, not because he's hungry, not because he's naked, not because his son or child is dying, not because she wants to get married, not because he wants to find a job. Just he remembers God like that, out of love, and has tears. La ilaha illallah. And the just ruler who has power, who has authority, who has power. It's very easy to abuse of your power. Just. And someone whose heart is attached to the effacement in the presence of God. That's the sujood. The moments of effacement and the places of effacement and the people who are actually effaced in the presence of God. And this man who no one is watching him, and the woman, capable, beautiful, she gives him money and he says no. What is the common denominator between all of these categories? Don't give me cliche. Don't give me cliche. At least, even if you want to say taqwa, translate it the way we translate it. What is the common denominator between these people? They directed their energy of anger and desire to God. Yes? What else? So what? They are resisting their lower passion. Just go to the introduction. Before I mentioned this, I was talking about what? They have a well-rooted and authentic. They built a true relationship with God. They have a true, deep, profound, authentic, real, well-rooted, anchored relationship with God. And the same for this young man who grows up in the service of God because he's building roots. And that's why they will be in the shade of their trust for God. That's the shade. The shade of the arsh or the throne or whatever is but a manifestation of that. They will be in the shade of their iman. يهديهم ربهم بإيمانهم. They will be in the shade of their trust in God. The day no one would trust God. The day no one would be able to trust God. Because trust is not something that you decide to build in a moment. It's something that you cultivate. And then you discover you have it or you don't have it at that moment. SubhanAllah. And if you have it at that moment, لا يحزنهم الفزع الأكبر. The biggest chaos. They will be watching all of that. غدا نلقى الأحبة محمدا وصحبه. Bilal alayhi salam the mu'adhin of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the first human being who accepted Islam according to the one of the narrations, before anyone else, even before Khadija, before Ali, before Abu Bakr. According to one rare narration, Bilal, he used to be the one who would wake up early. He used to be the slave of Umayyah, and he used to be a very faithful slave, to the point that Umayyah called him Bilal. That means تحطه على الجرح يبرأ. Bilal means the healing of the sick, because he was always doing his service. Great, well done. The master would wake up and he will find his milk waiting for him. Bilal would wake up before anyone else, making sure to go and find and make sure to bring the milk from the right goat. Because you would have noticed what they have eaten last year. You don't want to give a bitter milk to your master. What they ate last night. So he will, subhanAllah. And then the master would wake up and he will find everything ready. Warm water and the towel and the milk. And subhanAllah. There wasn't a single time the master called for his slave without Bilal saying, Labbaik. No wonder he will be the caller for the adhan after that. His service, because he did his service well with ihsan, with the polytheist master, that actually that set him that set him apart, or that set him on the journey that set him up first, that set him up for success. Can I say set on the journey?
Set out.
That set him on the journey for God, to serve God. He was such a faithful servant. He learned how to serve. He learned how to engage fully in his task. We just said, what takes more energy? The lack of engagement. Engaging fully in a task, things will be so easy. Just resist a bit, and then you will feel tired, overwhelmed. Lack of engagement takes more power, takes more calories, takes more energy from you than engagement. People say, oh, subhanAllah, I don't know how he's doing that. Actually, I don't know how you are doing that. It's the opposite. If you tell someone like Habib Umar, I don't know how you are doing that. You don't sleep, man. You don't do that. He said, I don't know how you are doing that, because he knows how much energy it takes for a human being to resist hidayah. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَقَدْ يَسَّرْنَا الْقُرْآنَ لِلذِّكْرِ فَهَلْ مِن مُدَّكِرٍ. The energy that takes to not read Quran is more than the energy that takes reading Quran. The energy that takes to not do dhikr is more than the energy that takes you to do dhikr. Because Allah says, وَلَقَدْ يَسَّرْنَا الْقُرْآنَ لِلذِّكْرِ. We made it easy, so it's actually easy. Just start it and you will see. But not doing dhikr. وَمَنْ يَعْشُ عَنْ ذِكْرِ نُقَيِّضْ لَهُ شَيْطَانٌ وَأَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ. You will have to fight now with that shaitan and with these things. And believe me, accepting is always easier than refusing the truth. The truth. So Bilal, alayhi salamullah, he used to be like that. And one day, the day Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was coming, and he used to, and that's why he built a friendship with Muhammad, with Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam before even Islam. Because they would be the only two people awake at the time of Sahar. Bilal to serve his master, and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam coming back from the cave of Hira. Before anyone wakes up, he doesn't want to make a big story. He doesn't want people to start noticing, oh, this man goes to the Ghar of Hira, oh, this man goes to meditate, or this man. He would go after the sunset and comes back before dawn. Spend the whole night in meditation. And then, on the way to the cave of Hira, he would meet Bilal, bringing back the sheep. And on the way down, he would meet Bilal, milking the sheep or milking the goat. And then a friendship was built between the two. And Bilal already recognized in the face of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the man of God, before the Prophet, because Bilal grew up in a Nazarene culture. His mother was a Nazarene. He was from the Nazarene of Ethiopia, the Nazarene and Nasara. We call them Christian today. The followers of Jesus of Nazareth, the Nazarene. That was the first name they were named with. So his mother was Nazarene, and in the Nazarene culture, we know it is still saints they know how to recognize the people of God, and they know how to serve the people of God, and they know how to act as people of God. They know what it takes and what a man of God is and how to go about it, etc. So he saw in the face of Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam the light of the man of God. And then he told him, and the day he came back from the cave of Hira, he saw some more light on his face, and he told him, you're coming with a different face. You've been always beautiful, but there is something. What happened to you? What happened to you? What happened to you? And then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam kept secret, kept silent, and then Bilal told him, if you tell me that Gabriel came to you, I would believe in you. I had that hope. I had in my heart that you must be a prophet. You were prepared for it. I haven't met anyone else who could be that prophet. And that's the story of the Islam of Bilal. He got it before even it was announced to him. Service. Subhanallah. Why did you bring the example of Sayyidina Bilal in the beginning? Who remembers? How did we start? غدا نلقى الأحبة. Bilal, alayhi salamullah, the day of when he was on the bed of his death, his wife was wailing and wa karbah. How difficult is this moment? How difficult is this moment? And Bilal, when he already passed out, but he woke up again and said, don't say wa karbah, say wa tarabah. How sweet is this moment? How sweet is this moment? غدا نلقى الأحبة محمدا وصحبه. Tomorrow we'll be meeting the beloved ones, Muhammad and his friends. لا يحزنهم الفزع الأكبر. these people, the day of resurrection, it will be a zaf for them. It won't be a... Read Surah Zumar. It will be like the zifaf. It will be like angels will be تتلقاهم ملائكة. Why? Just silent like this. تتلقاهم ملائكة with dufuf and with zagharid, and they will be coming like brides of God, going to heaven. The day everyone else is missing, losing his trust in God and thinking that, oh, what happened? God is not the same anymore. لا يحزنهم الفزع الأكبر وتتلقاهم ملائكة هذا يومكم الذي كنتم توعدون. This is your day that you were preparing for, that you were prepared for. This is your day. هذا يومكم. This is your day. This is the day for Sultana. This is your day. ولكم فيها ما تدعون. After that, just ask for. Subhanallah. MashaAllah. And it has been related that God the Exalted said, O young man who has abandoned his passions for my sake, you are to me as are some of my angels. Subhanallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq, inshallah, to answer the call and to find within our hearts that permeability and the iman and the trust to accept the call and to embrace the life and embrace the light and take our mission seriously and take this guidance and answer this call of guidance that is coming from Him. May God help us understand, and may God help us stand up for our right of birth, happiness, our right of birth. May God help us to stand up for our right of birth. Our birthright. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us to stand up for our birthright. Ameen ya arhamar rahimin rabbil alameen. Ameen ya arhamar rahimin rabbil alameen. And take it with azima, and take it with strength, and hold it with strength, and not let go of it easily. Ameen ya arhamar rahimin rabbil alameen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide our youth. And may those amongst you who have been called to this project take this project seriously and understand that we are here only to facilitate for youth to actually embrace life with God early enough, before they get weary, before they get tired, before depressions come, before all of these negative things come. To give them that opportunity to actually take the easy journey. The easy journey. عَلِمَ اللَّهُ أَنَّ فِيكُمْ ضَعْفًا. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the easy journey. The easy journey. It is the journey without sins. Yeah. Though those who make sins, they can come back to God, but the easy journey is like facilitated, because sins consume the energy and make you tired. A sinful life makes you tired, mentally tired, spiritually tired, emotionally tired, physically tired. A sinful life is not easy. It's very tiring. It wears you out. May we be able to prepare for our youth a context in which they could actually thrive and take the easy path naturally, without having to fall in a pit and then find their way out of it. Ameen. May we take this seriously. May we understand our mission. May we take it seriously. May we take it seriously. May we build an honest and genuine and true and authentic connection with our Lord. So we find ourselves under the shade of His trust, of us trusting Him, of our trust of Him. The day of judgment, the day everyone loses trust in God. Other than these 7 categories, may we find ourselves in one of these 7 categories. And if you missed our chance to be majority of us, at least here, missed our chance to be like this category of youth who are growing up in the ta'ah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May we not miss the chance of loving each other for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and accepting that opportunity of being people who love each other for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, embracing it and preserving it until the day we depart from this world. May we have everlasting friendships. الأخلاء بعضهم يومئذ بعضهم لبعض عدو إلا المتقين. May we be amongst the muttaqeen who have everlasting friendships. May our friendship remain forever strong and strong and strong and strong. آمين يا أرحم الراحمين رب العالمين. صلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه الطيبين الطاهرين. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الفاتحة. الحمد لله رب العالمين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم.
ربي صلي على النبي شفيعنا أحمد. الله صلي ربي على